Gaming History 101.
Alright, what's up guys, and welcome to Gaming History 101's Retro Game Night. And this week, after the beloved Conker's Bad Fur Day playthrough, we're going to go into the Resident Evil HD Remake. So, many of you probably know that this game isn't slated to come out in America until 2015, which is correct. And it's going to be coming on the PC, the Xbox One, the PS4, the Xbox 360, and the PS3. Well, in Japan, they've already got the PS3 and PS4 versions. And in Asia, Hong Kong specifically, they released the PS3 version. Now, the reason that they only release certain versions in certain areas is basically because of popularity. There's like almost no PS4s in Hong Kong as far as I understand, so there was no justification to make a tangible release. I also checked on the store. It doesn't appear to be digitally available as well. Same thing in Japan. Now, just so people know, Capcom has not announced if there's going to be a tangible release of this game in America. As far as I can tell, they go either way with it. Sometimes it's digital only, sometimes it's tangible, but there are many games such as Siren, Blood Curse, and Ratchet and Clank, Quest for Booty. Those all came out in Blu-ray formats in Europe and Asia and didn't come out in America. So I think the chances that we'll get a tangible version is 50-50. But I wanted to get this version early because I wanted to take a look at it. And what this basically is it's a up-res version of the Gamecube remake, which was available in 480p progressive scan on the Gamecube if you had the component cables. And then if you happen to buy the Wii version, that version was the exact same thing, only it did support 16:9 as well. This version on the PS3 and the 360 is actually at 720p, 16:9 with 30 frames per second. Now the much better PC, PS4, and Xbox One version will be 60 frames a second at 1080p. But again, I'm waiting for it to come out. So in the meantime, we're going to play this one. But first and foremost, I figured, since it's sealed, why not do an unboxing? Who knows? Maybe I can do a more professional version this time. Let's see. Alright guys, so here we go. As you can see, this version is made for Asia. It does say up here, it's got a bonus DLC special video. We'll see what that's all about. And then this little sticker here, if you can't read it, says English, Japanese voice, and subtitles. They do this a lot in Hong Kong, where you kind of get, you know, both versions. Just so you know, though, it goes 50-50 because there have been a lot of Capcom releases that are Japanese only and things like that. Sega does the same thing. Yakuza releases in Hong Kong, but it's Japanese only. So anyway, let's get this bad boy cracked open and see what we got inside here. See, this is a lot easier when I'm not holding the camera with another hand. So, all right. Okay, so there's the game box. Probably very similar to what it would look like if it were released in America, and I guess we'll see on that. Let's see here. Right here is a card that does have a code on it, so I'm not going to show that off just yet, but it's a download code for the special video. So we'll see about that one, see if I can get it. What's interesting is, while it does say Resident Evil on one of them, they did also give me the HD Remaster Biohazard, which is as it's known in Japan. And if you look over here at the disc says Biohazard, which is very interesting. And if you look at this says Resident Evil. If I wanted to, I can pull out the sleeve and switch it to Biohazard, which I might do. I actually quite like the Biohazard thing. But anyway, all right. Without further ado, this is the game. So I might do a quick comparison video, but probably not as part of this retro game night, just to show off kind of the differences between this version and another version. And again, remember, the definitive version, 1080p, 60 frames, will be coming out, you know, hopefully in 2015. Once I grab that, I'll get some capture of all the comparisons. Maybe I'll wait till that comes out. But in the meantime, let's kick it off and let's play some Resident Evil.
All right, what's up, guys, and welcome to Gaming History 101's Retro Game Night. And tonight we are playing, known in Japan as Biohazard, but the Resident Evil HD Remaster on the PlayStation 3. Now, there was an intro video that kind of told you how and when this came about, but basically, this game is the result of the HD Remaster that Capcom decided to give this game. Just so people know, I'm going to go widescreen, obviously. I like the original control scheme. We're going to go subtitles off and the English language. Now, full disclosure, I have played this already for about an hour on an issue that I don't like to talk about. We're going to go, up to 2. I like going on a hike, and go. But real quick, so, and I'm going to go with Jill, because I always go with the female protagonist. Again, the big things about this game is that Capcom decided to make this new version, basically to update the wonderful GameCube remake. So here it is. It's in 720p, 30 frames a second.
Around the forest,
but in the future, you'll be able to get it for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, which point it'll be in 1080p. Cannot wait to get my hands on that version and see how it is. But in Hong Kong, you are able to get an English version of this game.
Cases have recently occurred in Raccoon
and that's how this comes about.
There are outlandish reports of
I believe it's only released on the PS3. And
victims
the way to get it early. While we're not affiliated with their site, you can go to play-asia.com to buy your own copy. I think they sell for $35.
Look, Chris.
Bravo team's helicopter was a derelict. Save for the remaining body of Kevin.
Anyone who's played the original GameCube version knows that this is kind of your only way to really figure out what went on in this opening cutscene, even if you have the
turned into
Japanese uncensored version.
A nightmare.
So far, I gotta admit, these pre-rendered cutscenes don't look quite as good as the original. They look just the same as the original, in fact. They are probably done in 480p. They may be up-resed to 720p and later to 1080p, but up-resing, upscaling, and actually re-rendering is a completely different story. Like, I know it looks goofy, but that shot right there, that was in engine. That looked like it was re-rendered. Very different from the rest of these scenes. It looked much higher quality. I might have been able to tell that on recording as well, since I'm recording this in full resolution. But like right there, that's clearly the blurred out 480p, 640 by 480 resolution, not full on 720p. And they're probably working with the assets they have. A lot of future-proofing in tech. Having tangible masters does benefit the film industry quite a bit.
Hey, Brad! Where the hell's he going? This way.
They're good voice actors, really. Like, they're trying to give the love for the B-film acting of the original while also trying to capture the realism. But it's pretty funny if you ever get to hear the Japanese version where it's like, you know, like Chris this way is like, I think it's like Krisa Goju, and it's a much more bold and Japanese
There are
Wesker.
only 3 STARS members left now. Captain Wesker, Barry, and myself. We don't know who
this
Chris
looks
is.
gorgeous.
What is this place?
Not quite your ordinary house, that's for sure.
Hey, Wesker, where's Chris?
Jill, no. You don't want to go back out there.
But we've got to find...
What was that?
Chris?
No.
Jill, go and investigate.
I'm going with her. Chris and I go back a long way.
All right. You two go. I'll secure
I don't know
this
if it's the
area.
same voice actor, but I love Barry's voice.
Stay sharp.
Stay alert.
A dining room.
Alright, right off the bat, if you've played the game before on the PlayStation 1, or its many iterations other than Remake, you'll notice this is a little bit different. This was never here. Things like that. There's going to be more
I
differences.
think you'd better take a look at this.
What
We'll
is
discuss
it?
them briefly, but not go over the top, because I assume a lot of people who are watching this or listen to
Jill.
this
See if you can find any other clues.
have
I'll be examining
played
this. Let's
the
just
original
hope it's
game
not
before.
Chris's.
nice little grain effect on here. But the load screens, man, these door openings, they very clearly have a re-rendered quality to them. This infamous scene play out. Run! Come on, bag of bones. I don't even think you need him to follow you specifically, but I figured why not. One interesting thing, now granted this has never been on a PlayStation platform, this remake, but one interesting thing is you run with the X
Barry!
button.
What is it?
Or the
Look out! It's a
A
monster!
button, I think it would be on the Xbox, and then
Let me
you
take care of it.
pick up items and open doors with the B button. Or, sorry, with the circle button or B button. And, that's a little interesting. Took me
What
some
the
getting used to.
hell is this thing?
I found Kenneth killed by this thing. Let's report this to Wesker.
Kenneth, no! Alright. So, our next step is to report to Wesker. If we try to go anywhere else, it won't do anything. I also like that he gets up and runs away. Will be relevant later.
Wesker! Jill, help me look for him. But let's not leave this hall.
Good idea.
Now, in the original game, you would want to just kind of do this loop behind here, which was a little less elaborate. It was just kind of a behind the chimney, behind the staircase kind of thing. Now it goes down, the elevator that it becomes is in clear view, goes back up. But for the most part, that was the sweep you had to do. And if you came back to Barry around this time, he'd be happy. Clearly, that's not the case here. In Remake, you have to go a little bit farther, acknowledging the fact that there are stairs. While the architecture looks a little bit different, the overall feel of, you know, kind of what's in here is not. So you just kind of do a random sweep, enjoy the reflections and the new lighting effects, and you just kind of come down here. For those wondering, I did an hour playthrough of this already, and the video kind of went to shit, so we're redoing it. However,
Barry.
Any luck, Jill?
No.
in future
nothing.
recordings,
What's going
you'll
on
notice
around
less
here?
of a
I can't figure it
familiarity
out.
with the new
Same here.
stuff.
Chris, and now Wesker.
There's not much we can do. We can search for him separately. I'll investigate the dining room again.
Okay, then. I'll try the door on the other side.
This mansion is gigantic. We could easily get lost. Let's start from the first floor.
Okay.
Oh, I almost forgot. It's a lockpick. You'd make better use of it.
I don't get to be the master of unlocking anymore.
Thanks. I may need it.
Listen, if something happens, Let's meet up in this hall. Got it?
Okay.
Alright, so there's a lot to do over here. But for grins, let's go back to where you're all familiar with, which is over here. In the original game, this is where you would start your adventure, and it's probably intended to do the same in Remake, which is the nickname I've given this game. It's kind of interesting how they've done this. Some of the textures look brand new, other ones look grainy as hell. This is new. For Jill, at least. The sword key was always something Chris had to find, but Jill, being the master of unlocking, did not have this problem. She used the lockpick. She was able to proceed forward. I was actually kind of pleased to see that this makes a return in Remake. Before we move a whole heck of a lot forward, let's go up and get... this is still here. It was a stepladder in the original. It's now become a kind of a dresser. But doesn't change the fact that it gets you the first floor map. And the way you do it is almost identical, so. Let's get us a first floor map. Absolutely. Shows itself off. And moving forward, on the PlayStation, it's L1 to aim, and it's R1 to shoot. We'll get to demonstrate that in a sec. On the Xbox, I'm sure it's left trigger to aim, right trigger to shoot, which means that everything switches from trigger to bumper, PlayStation to Xbox, but basically in this game, you can press R2, or what you might know as right trigger, to access the map. Left trigger, L2 will be used in a second. Again, for you guys on Xboxes, it's left trigger to aim, right trigger to shoot, left bumper to use the secondary weapons, and right bumper to see the map. I will take the dagger. Okay, so here's where I get to find out. So basically, you can equip a defensive item. These are like second chances that weren't in the original game. Press L2 in this case, be left bumper. In other cases, get to use it. Triangle or Y accesses your main stuff. Notice it says equip where it should say equipment, and then it says equipment where it should say equip, but, you know, we're gonna let it go. Alright, and here we go. Who would have thunk it? Oh, I don't have the damn gun equipped. That's a problem. It's a big problem. I'm pretty sure once you use those items, they cannot be used again. Do not mistake your survival knife for your dagger. Anyway. Also, learn from my mistakes. Have your gun equipped. On the plus side, the whole concept of that was no matter how many times you hit him, he won't go down until you use the knife. They want you to know how to use the knife before you move on. You will be forced to go into other parts of the mansion as a result of needing the sword key. I know where it is, but it's probably best you go back to the dining room where Barry was to move forward. You may be shocked to learn that Barry's not there, but it might not surprise you at all, actually. Should probably save, since I've just played through this. I know the safe parts and kind of what threats are at my hand. You see the shield here. It's totally, you're able to pick it up, but I choose not to because I know where it's used and I don't need it this time. This will be true of many things in this game. So, first things first, homeboy who you took out before will be waiting there for you. That door that I was just at, that I saw him at, will be locked. Kenneth will be holding a tape instead of the two clips that he used to be holding. no matter how many times you look at him, he will no longer have anything for you. It's best to just move on. Now, if you played the original game, that was a dead end. Now there's new parts of the mansion. That's necessary in this new version. I don't believe there's anything on the table. Proceed to the birdcage. They were kind enough to leave a handgun magazine out for us. Thank you very much. There's a corpse collapse on the floor like it was an instant death. What the hell happened in this mansion? What the hell happened with an instant death? You'll notice 3 shackles on the wall. I have a couple of theories if you played this game before as to what happened. I'm going to take 1 herb for now, but since you have to literally combine them in order to have them not take up more slots, it's probably in even Jill's best interest, even though she has 2 extra slots, to not carry 2 herbs at once unless she absolutely needs them. So here's the back hallway. There's a guy right here. A couple more herbs. We will leave those for now. You see in the mirror, there's a mirror reflection and effect. You can also see the zombie right there. So there's going to be a zombie. Might as well prepare for him. This door will be locked. And let's take care of Mr. Zombie. Alright. He didn't seem to want to come after me. So I figured why not take him out. Once you see the blood pool beneath them, you know they're dead. For now. There is a specific type of zombie that we will introduce, or they will introduce later, called the Crimson Head, which will switch that kind of stuff up. Now, as we go down here, we will see Gothic architecture, to say the least, and/or cherub-like Roman architecture. There's the golden arrow. We will take it. Golden arrow is not in the original game. It tells you to look on the status screen and examine it. This code to examine it. You look around, it is what it is, but upon closer inspection, you just need the arrowhead, which is made from peridot, sometimes referred to as poor man's emerald. It'll come into play soon. It's kind of the key to the sword key, but you won't know that at this time. Pick up the clip. This door's probably locked. Yeah. Go this way. You unlock the door. I think this leads out into the circular dining room. A circular area above the dining room that was, well, I don't think it was accessible in the previous game until later on. This door's locked. Needs the sword key to unlock it. So we'll move on. This guy's here. There's a guy on the other side also, so no matter what you do, you are going to have to deal with them. I don't like how many bullets that guy took to put down. I think he took that many the last time I played this, like less than an hour ago. But it is what it is. Reload, and yeah, he's close enough that I need to take care of him. So went down pretty damn fast, and he's probably dead since the music's kind of halted. That's that puzzle. We'll leave it for now. I don't know how useful it'll be, but for now, it's a start. So it'll drop us back into the main hallway. I'm not sure if this unlocks, but it might. Okay, it is locked from the other side. Now, if I were to go back into the dining room, as you can probably expect, I'm going to find... I'm going to find that Jewel is on the floor, but otherwise not much has changed. What you want to do is, provided that you've got a decent amount of ammo, and I do, you're going to want to go out into the courtyard. Now, it's kind of funny that I say that because while the courtyard is ominous, at this point in time in the mansion, it is extremely safe. Now, this version of the courtyard was very different. The original game, and nowhere near as safe. Right, so we got a cage over here, locked from the other side. It's interesting what parts really were updated and what parts really were left rough and pre-rendered. Okay. Does that look like anything we've found before? Oh wait, maybe it does. Gotta give it credit though, just having a version that's in 720p without having to use an upscaler is pretty awesome. Hopefully the 1080p version looks better, but I can see sticklers for visual acuity jumping all over this. Meantime, I'm just pleased to have the damn thing on the console. When of course the battery is low. Of course it is. Alright, so you come in here, it's a very creepy place. Come around, you'll notice these headstones here. Each of these headstones have different things to say, and you quickly start to notice the patterns. They're all missing various parts to themselves, and the whatnot, but at the end of the day, sorry, one sec. End of the day, the only parts you're really interested in right now is right here. This is the Book of Curses, as it's aptly named. And while it's ominous, there's really nothing else to do over here. The Book of Curses in hand, you can pretty much go back upstairs. Now, not that you needed to wait till you're upstairs. Oh, and just for the record, come back over here. There's some shoddy shells. I might take them. I don't think there's anywhere else to go over here. So anyway, there's some shotgun shells. And with a nearly full inventory, we have no choice but to trek back into the house. However, again, not that we needed to wait this long, but the second you go back inside, find something very useful here. So, let's take a quick look at this Book of Curses we recently got. Go to Examine. You can go on the spine. It's just going to say Book of Curses. It's going to say Book of Curses. It's going to say Book of Curses. If you go to the back, oh, look, there is a key. Will I remove it? Of course I will remove it. And now I have the mansion key. Now which mansion key this is will reveal itself in due time. But it does also open up the Book of Curses so we can see what's inside. As we scroll over, 4 masks. One will speak no evil, which will have no mouth. One will smell no evil, which will have no nose. One will see no evil, which will have no eyes. And a mask that cannot speak, smell, or see evil, when all 4 are into place, will awaken. So, there will be a mask with everything removed. So, there you go. I couldn't think of anything beyond the 3. This does give me a key here. I don't know much about the key until I flip it over, and oh, would you look at that? It's got a sword on it. So now the game acknowledges it as the sword key. Now we've got a couple of things to do. So by this point in the game, I can't remember. The original, you probably had a box, but you don't in this version yet. So, alright. Best way to go. Let's go see a box. And I think, thanks to needing to see a box and knowing we're I'm going. I think I can safely jump over here and grab this blue jewel that's on the floor. Normally I would have had at least a couple saves in the bag on the typewriter. Not going for any sort of record because I'm no speedrunner. Also not going to do this in few saves. But since I know this part already, I can relatively safely take that risk. Mind you, at this point, since I haven't saved yet, if I were to die at any point, I would have to start the whole game over. Keep that in mind. Also, I should point out, this is not intended to be a walkthrough of any kind, nor is it intended to be a strategy guide. I'm just speaking off of what I know. It's locked from the other side. I'm on the wrong side of the hall. If you go to the other side, there's a solo door over here that can be opened with the sword key. This is not that door. That one needs the armor key. So is this the one? There we go. This is going to start to connect some hallways. It's somewhat useful. Actually, okay, I know the hallway this connects. This is not where I want to go for right now. There are a couple of different ways you can explore the mansion. If I were to continue going down there, I'd eventually come to a staircase with a safe room, but this is not where I want to go. However, you want to use all the locking mechanisms as soon as possible, so that once the key's done, you can have the choice to either discard it or keep it. There are different reasons why you would want to do either or. Knowing the game well enough, I would probably opt to keep things. So there's an extra dagger there. Okay, I think this is the one with the sword key. The other one was the one I came through. That would be the case. If you'll recall, before I came into that was a back hallway. And to keep things connected, this door right here, which I was able to use the lockpick with. If you were Chris, you would need a small, it's called a quote-unquote small key. Go through here, and oh, this is this back area here. I wouldn't go into it assuming it's safe. For the time being, it is safe. As you traverse this whole area, you end up unlocking this door, which puts you... Here we go. Oh shit. There. Apparently on the other side of that dining room. It was not the door I thought it was. My mistake. But anyway. Doesn't matter, it's all unlocked, it's ready for me to navigate, and you'll quickly learn that once the Crimson Heads get involved, and we haven't really seen them, nor will we for a while, you're going to want to be able to have those outs. You're going to want to be able to navigate this mansion as best as possible. Okay, so there are some moans. Those are both caused by a zombie right here, and a zombie coming up the stairs. See if I can get them to both come over, show themselves in due time. Proximity to you is an important factor when taking on these zombies, so keep it in mind. I'm surprised that guy went down so easily. Hopefully this guy does too. Not the case. I don't see blood coming, so we shoot him again. Gets up again. He's down again. Still don't see blood coming out of him, which means he's still alive. God, tell me you're down now. Okay, he is. Just didn't see it in time. Alright. This door's locked. Needs the helmet key. This is the door I was thinking of. Sorry, guys. I unlock it. I'll just show you where it wraps around to. It's an area you'll probably recognize. The long hallway from before. There it is. Now this gives me a moment to kind of show off another hallway. I used to remember this puzzle. I don't now. I'm sure I'll get to the point where I can. But you come over here, and it says there's an inscription of "Death is only the beginning." There's a trick to something. Obviously you see this big spiky guy. I don't want to see the business end of that. There are these walls over here. And then if I come back here... Whoop, there's a knight here who says... Death is everything. And I think this is locked. It is. It needs the helmet key. Now, what I can do... Although... Yeah, I do have a gap. Okay. I've used enough bullets that I have a gap. Which is not good. But I'm okay. Anyway, if I want to... Find peace in death. Do I want to take it? Sure. I take it. This is dangerous, right? Because I could die... And the walls cave in, and if you haven't noticed, the guy behind me also pops in. Here comes the spinning blades. Not cool. Now, there is a way to fix that. I have not found that way, so the only way I can save myself from dying, and keep this in mind if you do it yourself, is drop the key back in there, and you are safe. Now, again, on this intro video, I will not be able to complete this puzzle. So, at this moment, you don't know. So, if you want to stay in mystery and play this for yourself, something to think about. At this moment, I myself cannot figure it out, but I am humble enough to acknowledge that I don't know it, and I will figure it out at some point. So, with this connection, I can go back to where I was and continue forward. With nothing more to explore on this hallway, the only choice is to go downstairs. Now, I've taken out the zombie that was originally there. There's another zombie on the ground. His ability to get up is possible. I've not figured out how to trigger it yet. So, several kinds of serum, many of a sickly color that may become important later. This shelf is full of pills. Okay, if we come over here, aside from having a typewriter, there's also this document. These beings, they may appear to be dead, but in fact they come back to life. That is hint to the Crimson Head. Anytime you incinerate, destroy the head, or various other things, it will prevent them from coming back. You'll notice that at this moment, any of the bodies I have dropped, as I've taken their head out, they remain. There's a couple things waiting for me here, so we'll drop the blue gemstone, because there's no need for it right now. Shotgun shells, I don't have a shotgun, so there's that. Survival knife, you want to be careful before you drop. I have a decent amount of bullets, and I know what's ahead, and that's more important than any of the bullet numbers I've got, so that's just something to keep in mind. So I'll come over here, and I will save for the first time. Now, you will see my save from the previous game, which I almost don't want to talk about, because I lost all that footage. But anyway, I recommend you always keep 3 going at once. You'll see 1, 2, 3. I've got these 3 going, and here's 4, 5, and 6. Actually, I will do 5, 6, and 7, and start this new one up. Again, it's less saves. I think I was on part 3 when I first saved over here for the first time, but that was because I was being careful. One thing about Resident Evil Remake is because you don't have familiarity and safety with it, those of us who don't recall the game but are pragmatic enough to know the challenge it brings with it, we may be more likely to try to keep things as safe as possible and save more often than we need. Anyway, With only 4 things in tow, I'm ready to venture back out into the mansion. Now at this point, if I die, I'm really losing nothing, right? Let's go over here. Faintly unpleasant. Okay. These windows beg the question. Okay, so that would have been another place where Chris needed a small key. Beg the question, when are the Dobermans coming out? If you recall the original game. It's a valid question. Okay, new type of defense mechanism is the battery pack. I've got a dagger equipped as my main safety weapon, but I got a battery pack as backup. Here's the broken shotgun. You will definitely need the broken shotgun as Chris. As Jill, you might be luckier than that. We'll discuss why and how soon. In the drawer is the ink ribbon. Now I've got plenty of save points. I think I had 5 before, so in total I have 8. There's no way to go up that ladder. You'll notice this kerosene tank here. There's plenty of kerosene left. I have no way of knowing where the kerosene is or how to store it, aside from knowing that I need a lighter in order to use it to incinerate bodies. Now, it's perhaps possible they expected me to come across this at a later time than I did, but this is the route that I took the first time as well. Emblem of armor on here. I do not have the armor key. That's the one with the spinning shield knight that will kill me. So given this, I really have no choice but to leave. Now, what I am going to do is go back to the save room and not save again, tempting as that is. Since I'm relatively certain of the dangers that I face, I can drop these into the box. Now, depending on your difficulty, items in the box connect or don't connect. In most cases, they will connect, which is why you can just, kind of drop and consolidate the ink ribbons. For some weird reason, they didn't consolidate like that in the original game. I think that was a game design flaw, not an actual conscious choice. So with that done, we have nowhere to go but back to where we started, which is fine, because one of the more notable parts of the mansion has not been explored by us, and we need to go back. But you'll notice these bodies that are here, they could get back up at any time. And once the quote-unquote shit goes down, which is not too far off as I recall, but it's still probably an hour or two, they will. They will reanimate, and they will make themselves valid issues. For Jill or Chris, depending on which one you happen to be. Okay, now is the time to go downstairs and go through the hallway. Anyone who's played the original game is acutely familiar with. Oops, sorry. So we head down here. Just in case people are wondering why I don't go in here, I think it was unlockable early on, or even the lockpick would get there. It has now become a fully locked helmet key thing, but then again, maybe it always was. Also, for fun, if I went to where that elevator type thing is, it's now a staircase going down. Well, let's show it off. Why not? Sorry, guys. So, what used to be a kind of hidden elevator has now become something a little more diabolic. It's an underground passageway that clearly has something down in there. You might ultimately assume it's a zombie. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Those of us who know what it is, there's kind of a, for the same reason, smirk that could cross your face. What is it? Alright, there's the clock. Since I'm not going to mess with the shield yet, I'm not going to grab it. Oh, whoops. I'm sorry. I'm on the wrong side of the hall. Ugh. Sorry, guys. Somebody probably noticed that already since I said it was the pivotal hallway, and this is not the pivotal hallway. That represents the first hallway you fully interact with. Hallway I'm referring to is quote-unquote across the hall. So, here we go. Just cross over here. I'm sure you'll remember it. This is where we got the map. This is where we learned defense mechanisms for the first time. And we needed the sword key to cross through the double doors that used to let us through, being the master of unlocking. But it did not tell us that key is no longer usable, which means there's at least one more sword key door out here. Alright, wow, yeah, sometimes the pre-renders just pop, and not in a good way. But this can slide. Get us an extra dagger. And these are the windows. Whoop! That's a nice little way to mess with you. Here's the second pushable plate over here. Oh! Actually, the plate rack needs to be pushed from behind. Much like in the original game, you can find a little goodie to pick up. I believe they were both magazines originally. We come through here. Alright, so this is almost identical to kind of the layout you saw before. I can go out here, but don't recall what's quite out there. I don't want to take that chance yet. But we can go into the bathroom real quick. Now, depending on which version of this game you've played in the past, this bathroom can look very diverse or very similar to what you've seen before. Basically, this tub here, it wasn't the tub that was the problem before. I think there was a plug and water and stuff, but what's about to happen didn't happen in the original. Previously, you would unplug the water drain, and there would be no one in here. I'm sure they originally planned for this zombie to pop out. Dare I say it, maybe the original plan was to let the cutscene have Jill kill the zombie. Either way, it's not what happens in the American version. Same time, in the Japanese version, or at least in the director's cut, you would come over here and look at the sink. You would see the zombie emerge from behind you in the mirror. But either way, it's a nice little scare. A little jump scare for a bathroom that was quite anticlimactic in the original. So, okay. We've got these little trinkets lined up. There's a pretty awesome view of the window. And then we have this room. I like to call it the boxy, squishy room. I'm sure it's got many better names. But you'll see the umbrella logo and kind of a view from the ceiling. The reason for the ceiling is something up here, but we won't see it at this moment. And frankly, it's not a danger yet. So we'll grab a dagger, defense mechanism. So clearly something got burnt here. There's some stuff wandering around. We got the defense mechanism. There's a silver pitcher we can't touch. That's just a scuff in the leather they don't want to admit to. And here's ink ribbon. But the important part is right here, where there's a shotgun. Now, clearly when you take the shotgun, something raises up. The best way to handle that is if you have your trusty broken shotgun, you can pop it right there. and you're good to go. Trap disarmed. But if you didn't know that was a trap, or if you were foolish enough to enter this room, what would happen is, unlike now, something would start coming down from above here. This door, as well as this door, would lock, and you would eventually watch yourself get squished. If you were Chris. If you were Jill, Barry would come and save you by shooting open the door and breaking it down. And I believe that still happens in this version. Now, granted, if you have the broken shotgun and you use it properly, like I just did, you don't have to worry either way. And then you can enter this back hall. This is kind of the bare bones end of the mansion. Over here, it's a room that should be locked. Okay. Spencer. Oh, crap. There's a zombie. Did not expect that. So we'll just go in here. There's a back hallway over there, and then the, I believe the crow room is still intact. But for now, we will take advantage of the fact that this game has pretty much no zombies that are like raptors that can use doors. His head just exploded, which means he will not be coming back. Reload real quick, and we'll go into what I know is a safe room, both in remake and in this version. Or, sorry, in the original. So, okay, there's a couple things in here, which means it may have been intended to be discovered before the previous room I discovered. For starters, there's the kerosene canteen. Now, it does take up a slot in your inventory. However, these kerosene cans, you can refill your canteen. I think it's 2 or 3 times. You get 2 goes. We come over here. There's really nothing else to collect on the shelves or anything. There might have been more before, maybe the plant food or something, but different game. So, anyway, here's what I'm choosing to do. Damn it. It's a circle X thing. Anyway, okay, for starters, let's drop the canteen in here because we do not have a way to light things on fire, therefore the canteen is relatively useless to us. Also, let's drop the shotgun. We have 12 shotgun bullets. We have 27 in the clip, or sorry, 15 in the clip, 27 more we can add. We're pretty good on bullets. We also got an herb, so we don't need the first aid spray. I do think it's worthwhile to save, though. So we're going to do that. And using my rule, we will use save 2. Save takes a while, but it's nothing ridiculous. The first save in particular, which we didn't get to see an example of, will take the longest period of time. I think it's setting up all the blocks and whatnot for the saves. Anyway, we can take the ink ribbon. If you want to, you can just drop it in there. It'll become a 10. And now you're safe. Anything that happens to me immediately following this until I save again will obviously be lost, but since I've just saved moments ago, it's not that big of a deal. I'm going to leave that green herb just in case. Now, I think I've got 15. I do. Okay, because the top of the stairs right here is a homie. Oh, I can't believe he's there. I've got the 180. He drops to the ground, but I know he's not dead. He started to bleed, so I'm good. Now, I'm guessing this is locked. There's no doorknob, so there you go. It's locked. What is this? Huh. Okay. I think this is locked too. I'll try it. Okay. It's an armor one, and I know there's a zombie here. Or at least I was pretty sure there was. Huh. What do you know? Alright, let's see if this is changed in Remake. This is. You can go in here. This is something I'm used to. And there's a decent amount of herbs in here. Okay, if I had a lighter, I could light that fireplace and I'd be pretty good. And this is also locked. Okay, so I'm going to leave all this here. I'm doing pretty good right now in terms of health and whatnot, so I've seen plenty of green herbs, and the red herb, when combined with the green herb, will fully restore your life. But since I've got no reason to be in any of these places, nor do I have the keys that get me through there, I'm just going to move on to the more basic hallways and whatnot. Now when I come out, this will be the hallway I originally went into, saying, "Whoop, I'm on the wrong side of the hall." And the first things first, there's a wooden mount. For some reason I chose not to grab it, but I wanted to grab it. I'm guessing that's to go burn that plate I saw above for the map. This room is only accessible from the hallway. I'm pretty sure there's a zombie in here, but I don't know for sure. I take the dog whistle. Sure. Okay. So what I want to do is go out on the second floor balcony below the dog whistle and wait for the dog that has the item around his neck to show up. I can also grab this clip here. Thank you. I think that's about it. It says something about checkmate. But anyway, before I go out onto that balcony and give that a go, I'm probably going to want to save. There's the lighter. Okay, so that just made the rest of this a little more tempting. So first things first, let's get the second floor map since I now know I can do that. In a way most aren't used to seeing. Just come in here. Board up there, and then I can use the lighter, and look at that instant map of the second floor. Absolutely. Thank you. So there's the map of the second floor. Let's leave everything else because nothing else has changed. And now I think our next goal probably has a large part to do with going out to that balcony. Now, we should probably go get that flask. You start to think of the areas you do not want anything to show up again. Oh, I see that clip right there. How did I miss it before? Oh. Because I'm pressing O instead of X. Alright, so come and grab that. There's a clip. I should probably save, but I'm going to go to the area I want to go to first before saving. I don't think that dog's going to be much of a problem, but... Okay, the doorknob's about to fall apart. I don't want to break that opportunity, so I'm going to go back this way as is suggested to me. And knowing he's the only zombie in this hall, Let's use this for a change. So we'll go down and we'll light him on fire. Stay away from him. You light him on fire. Otherwise that could happen to you. But now I know he's not going to come back. That's only important from a certain perspective. But my perspective is very important. There's got to be at least a handful of zombies in this hallway. This is an armor key. Okay. Alright, and this is the hallway you've seen before. It's also locked. Needs the armor key. Okay. Now that we found everything that needs the armor key, we will go back and start from here. Okay. Now, we know that dog balcony is the next part. But the question is, do you save first? And... I think I'm gonna say I do. So we'll go downstairs to save first. We will go to the dog balcony. Actually, I seem to remember this guy being a kind of a bitch to come back to as well. So I think I'm going to light him up too. Again, the goal here is hedging your bets. Knowing who was a bigger problem to you in the past. I think this is where I want to go. Yep. Okay. Now both of these guys are still here. Which is a thing, but anyway. Around here, I can get more kerosene, save, and then we'll go back to the dog balcony, which was right up the stairs. So that's kind of how you connect things. Sorry. The EXO thing getting to me again. Alright, now I said there was kerosene here. There isn't. There is actually kerosene in that other room around the corner. Using my rule, the third save will be right here. Alright, so the next step is to grab the kerosene and then go deal with the dog on the balcony. So I'm going to pause here, stop the recording, and when we come back, we will do just that. In the meantime, this is the first look. You will see more videos going live at youtube.com/VGPTGS. That's V as in Victor, G as in Goat, T as in Tom. Wait, sorry, VGP. V as in Victor, G as in Goat, P as in Paul, T as in Tom, G as in Goat, S as in Sam, VGPTGS. And of course, everything is centrally located at gaminghistory101.com. Otherwise, you can check out our YouTube page to see this and more playthroughs shortly. In the meantime, this is Fred Rojas saying, happy gaming!
Get this version early because I wanted to take a look at it, and what this basically is it's a up-res version of the Gamecube remake, which was available in 480p progressive scan on the Gamecube if you had the component cables. And then if you happen to buy the Wii version, that version was the exact same thing, only it did support 16:9 as well. This version on the PS3 and the 360 is actually at 720p 16:9 with 30 frames per second. Now the much better PC, PS4, and Xbox One version will be 60 frames a second at 1080p, but again, I'm waiting for it to come out. So in the meantime, we're going to play this one. But first and foremost, I figured, since it's sealed, why not do an unboxing? Who knows? Maybe I can do a more professional version this time. Let's see. Alright guys, so here we go. As you can see, this version is made for Asia. It does say up here, it's got a bonus DLC special video. We'll see what that's all about. And then this little sticker here, if you can't read it, says English, Japanese voice, and subtitles. They do this a lot in Hong Kong, where you kind of get, you know, both versions. Just so you know, though, it goes 50-50 because there have been a lot of Capcom releases that are Japanese only and things like that. Sega does the same thing. Yakuza releases in Hong Kong, but it's Japanese only. So anyway, let's get this bad boy cracked open and see what we got inside here. See, this is a lot easier when I'm not holding the camera with another hand. So, all right. Okay, so there's the game box. Probably very similar to what it would look like if it were released in America, and I guess we'll see on that. Let's see here. Right here is a card that does have a code on it, so I'm not going to show that off just yet, but it's a download code for the special video. So we'll see about that one, see if I can get it. What's interesting is, while it does say Resident Evil on one of them, they did also give me the HD Remaster Biohazard, which is as it's known in Japan. And if you look over here at the disc says Biohazard, which is very interesting. And if you look at this says Resident Evil. If I wanted to, I can pull out the sleeve and switch it to Biohazard, which I might do. I actually quite like the Biohazard thing. But anyway, all right. Without further ado, this is the game. So I might do a quick comparison video, but probably not as part of this retro game night, just to show off kind of the differences between this version and another version. And again, remember to update the wonderful GameCube remake. So here it is. It's in 720p, 30 frames a second.
Around the forest,
but in the future you'll be able to get it for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, which point it'll be in 1080p. Cannot wait to get my hands on that version and see how it is. But in Hong Kong, you are able to get an English version of this game.
Cases have recently occurred in Raccoon
and that's how this comes about.
There are outlandish reports of
I believe it's only released on the PS3. And
victims
the way to get it early. While we're not affiliated with their site, you can go to play-asia.com to buy your own copy. I think they sell for $35.
Look, Chris.
Bravo team's helicopter was a derelict. Save for the remaining body of Kevin.
Anyone who's played the original GameCube version knows that this is kind of your only way to really figure out what went on in this opening cutscene, even if you have the
turned into
Japanese uncensored version.
A nightmare.
The definitive version, 1080p, 60 frames, will be coming out, hopefully in 2015. Once I grab that, I'll get some capture of all the comparisons. Maybe I'll wait till that comes out. But in the meantime, let's kick it off and let's play some Resident Evil.
All right, what's up, guys, and welcome to Gaming History 101's Retro Game Night. And tonight we are playing, known in Japan as Biohazard, but the Resident Evil HD Remaster on the PlayStation 3. Now, there was an intro video that kind of told you how and when this came about, but basically this game is the result of the HD remaster that Capcom decided to give this game. Just so people know, I'm going to go widescreen, obviously. I like the original control scheme. We're going to go subtitles off and the English language. Now, full disclosure, I have played this already for about an hour on an issue that I don't like to talk about. We're going to go up to 2. I like going on a hike, and go. But real quick, so and I'm going to go with Jill because I always go with the female protagonist. again, the big things about this game is that Capcom decided to make this new version, basically...
Gaming History 101.
Alright, what's up guys, and welcome to Gaming History 101's Retro Game Night. And this week, after the beloved Conker's Bad Fur Day playthrough, we're going to go into the Resident Evil HD Remake. So, many of you probably know that this game isn't slated to come out in America until 2015, which is correct. And it's going to be coming on the PC, the Xbox One, the PS4, the Xbox 360, and the PS3. Well, in Japan, they've already got the PS3 and PS4 versions. And in Asia, Hong Kong specifically, they released the PS3 version. Now, the reason that they only release certain versions in certain areas is basically because of popularity. There's like almost no PS4s in Hong Kong as far as I understand, so there was no justification to make a tangible release. I also checked on the store. It doesn't appear to be digitally available as well. Same thing in Japan. Now, just so people know, Capcom has not announced if there's going to be a tangible release of this game in America. As far as I can tell, they go either way with it. Sometimes it's digital only, sometimes it's tangible, but there are many games such as Siren, Blood Curse, and Ratchet and Clank, Quest for Booty. Those all came out in Blu-ray formats in Europe and Asia and didn't come out in America. So I think the chances that we'll get a tangible version is 50-50. But I want to